Today, I'd like to share with you a pretty personal story. What I want you to take from this story is be careful who you allow in your home, around your family members, and with your belongings. Now, I'm not going to be mentioning the names of any of the parties involved in this story because they're my family members. So, I'd like to keep their information private, and I'd like to tell you the story for the sole purpose of being careful who you hire and who you allow in your home. Growing up, we were pretty fortunate to live in a big home. Thank God for all the blessings that we had. And we were also pretty fortunate to have housekeepers, people who help around the house to ease the work in the house on my mom, so she's not doing everything all the time. So, throughout the years, we've had, multiple housekeepers. Now, one of them really stood out. I wasn't a very religious kid growing up, and the reason why this is important is I didn't believe in something called black magic. Black magic is where someone sacrifices something, and most of the time they sacrifice their freedom. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in another video. I think you have an idea of what black magic is. See, we've had housekeepers that we truly loved. People who, when they left, we would literally break down because they were practically a part of the family. And we just wanted to keep them around forever, but it just doesn't happen. Some of them have kids, families, husbands, wives that they want to go back to. So we just had to let them go sometimes. It's not that we had to let them go, they wanted to travel. So my parents one time decided to hire a different housekeeper, someone from Ethiopia. Now, this housekeeper from Ethiopia had something really off about her. I love Ethiopians. I've met a lot of people from Ethiopia. They're absolutely amazing people. But that person in particular had something off about her. Her eyes, the way that she would look at you, it gave you the sense of darkness. Like there's legitimately no soul, no life behind her pupils. It's like something was off. So a couple of months down the line, she was working very normally. Never did anything wrong. She did what my mom told her to do. My mom would help out with whatever tasks she needed help with. But after a couple of months, like after, I'd say 7-8 months. See, a couple of months down the line, mom started waking up with a headache. And that was an everyday scenario. That wasn't something that would just happen once a week, twice a week. No, it was every single day. Mom knew something was off. She knew something was off, but she didn't really do anything about it just yet. She thought for a second that it was, maybe a health issue, maybe something that she has a lack of vitamins, a lack of nutrition, something like that. So my mom had to basically go to the doctor, had to visit the doctor, get herself checked out. Everything seemed pretty normal. Like there's nothing wrong with her. She's healthy. There was no reason for her to have a constant headache every single day, So she came back home and she was getting this off feeling about the housekeeper that we had. She was somehow doing something that would cause my mom to have such headaches. Now, I was young. I was way too young to comprehend what black magic is. And this is what my mom felt was happening. See, my mom is a very religious woman. She's very well educated on the matter of black magic, its causes, who are the type of people that actually do that type of magic, and where it comes from, so what it could cause. So, my mom decides to take off her pillow cover. Okay? She takes off the pillow cover and she finds a drawing of a stick figure. A drawing of a stick figure. Now, I personally never knew what that is or what it could mean, but that instantly put worry in my mom's head. Because why would there be a drawing of a stick figure, something like this, in her pillow covers? It doesn't make any sense. None of us draws things and just shoves them in my parents' pillows. So Mama started checking the rest of the pillows around the house. My pillow, my brother's pillows, my sister's pillows, and my father's pillow. And to her surprise, she found a drawing of a stick figure in each and every pillow cover. And every drawing was different. They all showed something different, but it was still the same stick figure. All right. My mom instantly knows what that is. She's like, this is black magic. The housekeeper is probably doing something to us. But I really want to pin down if she's actually the one doing this. Now, in Doha, Qatar, our house, in Doha in general, we don't have basements. Here in America, you have basements. In Doha, Qatar, instead of an attic, we actually have a third floor. On that third floor, it usually has a room. It's not a little room, it's pretty sizey. There's a restroom in that room, a bed. It can basically be a small studio room. Not even a small studio room. It's actually pretty sizey for a studio room. So it was bigger than a studio room. So my mom decides to go upstairs and check through some of the things that the housekeeper may have. Now, she didn't really want to get up in her personal business. She didn't want to open her bags. She just wanted to check the pillow. All right. That day, I remember very vividly when my mom was checking the pillow of the housekeeper to see what's under there, what's in there. Is there something that she could be hiding? Is there a reason why she would be doing this? Now, my mom didn't really want to get in her personal things. Remember that. So, the moment my mom lifts the pillow, she finds a book. I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about this. I remember that book. It literally looked like something like this. When my mom opened that book, it was just a bunch of stick figures. Some had a circle under them. Some had some sort of eye. Like, it was such bad drawing that makes it way scarier. I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about it. It was just horrifying. After a couple of arguments between my mom and the housekeeper knew that we found it. And she just didn't want to open up about it. She didn't want to admit why she was doing that. We ended up deporting her out of the country, and she still did not want to talk about it. She didn't want to say why she's doing what she's doing. And it was just extremely scary. So she left the country without us knowing why she did what she did. Now, here is the thing, though. You'd think that after she left the house, things would stop. My mom's headache would go away. And, we didn't receive any of the damage. Like, personally, me and my brothers and my father, we really didn't go through anything. Okay? One day, though, me and my brother, I remember, he knows who he is. We're sitting down watching TV. We're watching a movie. It was like 12:45, 1 a.m., some late hour of the night. And I hear just this sound, like boom, boom, like it's as if someone is literally running down the stairs, sprinting down the stairs. And I'm just like, bro, who from the family members would sprint down the stairs that fast? Like, it's literally 1 a.m. If they needed a cup of water, if they needed something, they'd come down slowly. And we didn't smell anything burning, so there was clearly no fire. We didn't sense any danger. We didn't hear anything outside. Like, nothing detected that this was a sense of urgency. So, why was someone running down the stairs? And I swear, I was washing my hands. As soon as I stopped washing my hands, we had a towel hanging on the seat. I take the towel off, and I'm drying my hands. And all I see is my sister my little sister. And I know that wasn't my sister. Look, I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about this. I know this wasn't my sister. Her eyes were closed. Okay, literally, her eyes were closed. And she goes like, Kinan, put the towel back on the chair. And I'm like, how about this? How about you calm down, go back upstairs, and go to sleep? She's like, Kinan, put the towel back on the chair. I'm like, listen, you really need to go back upstairs. And I'm laughing. I'm literally like, listen, you need to go back upstairs and you need to just go back to bed. Like, you don't need to stress this out. I'm literally just drying my hands. She's like, I am not going back upstairs until you put the towel back. Now, at that point, my smile just wipes away. I have a serious face on. I'm just like, and I kid you not. I kid you not, boy. She starts sprinting back upstairs. Literally running upstairs. The same speed that she was coming down the stairs, she started sprinting back upstairs. The same exact speed with her eyes shut. I swear to God. This is literally, I have family members that has seen this happen. I can't stress how scary that night was. And I asked my sister the next day when she wakes up, why did you do that? Were you trying to scare me? Like, were you doing like some sort of joke or prank? She's like, Kenan, what are you talking about? I'm like, you literally sprinted downstairs, told me to put the towel down back on the seat. And as soon as I put it back, you ran back upstairs with your eyes shut. Why did you do that? And my sister kept declining it. She's like, bro, what are you talking about? I did not do that. I don't recall this happening. And she legitimately didn't seem like she knew what was going on. Again, if it was sleepwalking, I'd understand the person is just walking. But sprinting downstairs and not falling, then sprinting back up and still not falling, telling me to put the towel back on the seat, and she won't go back upstairs unless I put the towel back on the seat. That's not something real. There's something off about that. I let it slide, G. I literally let it slide. But another event happens down the line. I remember at that time I was 15, not even 15, 14 years old. The one who was younger than me, the second oldest, he was 11 years old. Him and I used to sleep in the same room. We were little kids. I was 14, he was 11. I'm 3 years older than him. I'm the oldest brother. He's the second oldest. My dad, every single day, likes to wake us up. Now, my dad, when he wakes us up, he's never ready to go to work. My dad wakes up for Fajr prayer, which is the morning prayer. He prays, then he goes back to sleep. Then he decides to wake up again around 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. exactly when he woke up. And he'd like to wake us up. Now, my dad wore this. You've ever seen Arab men wear some sort of a dress? We call it thobe. It's not a dress. It's something that, men wear in Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia. It's just like one of their casual things that they wear, men. My dad wore one of those, but it's like in a pajama form, okay? Now, my dad, every single day he woke us up, he'd be wearing this or some sort of a pajama. Not necessarily always that, but it's, 80% of the time he's wearing this. Now, one particular morning, my dad decides to wake us up. But this day in specific, my dad has a smile on his face. But his eyes weren't smiling, like literally like this. And it was the scariest thing I've seen in my life. Now, here's an extra detail. He was wearing his work clothes. I'm like, Baba? I'm like, you're up early today. He's like, yeah, Kenan, I just got ready for work. Yeah, how about you get up and let's go to school? And all throughout the conversation, he's smiling. His eyes weren't smiling, which was pretty scary. But I was like, you know what? That's Baba. I trust Baba. It is what it is. We get up, me and my brother, who's the second oldest brother. We get up, we get changed, we go downstairs, we're waiting for the bus. And I kid you not, 10 to 15 minutes before the bus arrives, we hear footsteps coming down the stairs. We see my dad. He was wearing his pajama thobe that I was telling you about, the pajama dress that, Arab men wear, scratching his eyes And he asked us, "What are you guys doing up that early?" I'm like, "Dad, you literally woke us up and you are ready for work." Now, mind you, right before me answering him this, I'm sitting down there in shock. In shock. Dude, I just saw you ready for work. I saw that you were ready for work. You had the biggest smile on your face. You seemed super energetic. And now you're standing right in front of me, walking down the stairs, scratching your eyes as if you just woke up. What's going on? My dad's like, "Kenan, what are you talking about?" And then he mentions my other brother's name. He's like, what are you guys talking about?" And my brother's like, "Dad, I swear, you woke us up. Kenan is not tripping." And I'm just like, dude, what's going on? What we ended up doing is selling the house and moving out. Once we sold the house and moved out, I stopped experiencing those things. After those traumatic events, I truly started believing that black magic exists. That some people would do certain things for no specific reason except jealousy. Now, this person could have seen the house we were living in, could have seen the family dynamic, maybe just the smallest little thing could have made them jealous. You know people, they get jealous over whatever. She might have gotten jealous over something and just decided to cause havoc. I'm telling you, man, this is real. It's horrifying. And I really need you to be very careful about who you let in your home and around your family members. Take care of yourself. Subscribe, comment, tell me what your thoughts are about this story. And if you have any traumatic stories, anything scary that you want to tell me about, I'd love for you to share that with me. Let's talk about it.